welcome to the Open Mic Diary. My name is Indra Adele, and you have just stepped into a safe space. Just like in a diary entry, in this space, I am free to be my most authentic self, be vulnerable and honest about my feelings and emotions, and give you a front row seat to my various life experiences, my challenges, my victories, ups, downs, laughter, tears, and everything in between. I'm turning my healing journey into our healing journey. And honestly, this is not your traditional podcast. This space is free flowing, hence the name Open Mic Diary. So expect anything. If you have not already, please go listen to the Allow Me to Introduce Myself episode so you have more context to me and the style of this podcast. Episodes, for the most part, will be uploaded in batches, but outside of that, I may decide to spontaneously upload episodes individually. So please make sure that you follow, subscribe, and have your notifications on so that you will always know when I post a new episode. I pray that my authenticity and my vulnerability in this episode blesses you in some way. Wow. So today, or I should say this morning, um, I am, I just had a moment where I realized that I'm coming up on 2 years separated from my ex-husband, and I was going through some stuff in my room, in my closet, and I had cleared a lot of things out already, but I realized I used to have these pictures hung up in the bedroom when we were married, these pictures from our wedding that um I actually edited myself because our photographer disappeared. We'll just go with that. But yeah, I was just very big on like our room being this like romantic, um, just this place that was a reminder of our love, right? And so like I had pictures all over, just framed really nicely, photos from our wedding day. And of course I took those down some time ago. After sometime when we were separated. Actually, no, I think I took them down closer to maybe the divorce. But anyways, doesn't really matter. I had them stashed away in my closet, and so I was pulling them out to go, put them in the storage stuff in the garage. And like as I pulled them out, I hadn't looked at them in a while, and I was just like, man, it seems like so long ago. Like looking at these photos and just going back in my mind to like where I was at that time, where we were at that time. Like it seems like we were in a completely different world, right? Like, and so to look at those photos and to remember where we were with each other at that time and to just bring myself back to the present moment and to see that we are now divorced with 2 kids, it's like, it's just crazy, and granted, me and him are currently in a good place in terms of just our dynamic. Like we have a pretty healthy dynamic overall and co-parent our kids well. And but it wasn't like that all the time. Like we've gotten to that place now, but early on, especially in the heat of the separation and the divorce and stuff, like, I mean, it was hard to even talk to each other without it turning into an argument. Which I won't go down that path right now, but it just made me feel grateful for even how far I've come personally. It made me think about when we first separated, just where I was at, the headspace I was in. I mean, I was devastated. Like, I we were having issues for so long, and I wanted to believe for so long that we would work it out. And when things get to that point where you realize that it may not actually work out, that's hard. Like it sucked. It was just very hard to process and digest that reality um that you see unfolding. And I was just really devastated. I was really not in a good place mentally, emotionally. At that point our dynamic had gotten so bad it was hard even being around each other. And the issues that we had in our relationship um over time really took a toll on my mental and emotional health. And so by the time we separated, it was rough. Taj was only 4 months old. Kai was like 3.5. And um probably few months after we initially separated is when it really got hard. Like that October, November, it really got hard for me. Just it was already hard, but that's when I really found myself in a really dark place emotionally, mentally. Like just I was depressed. Like I was depressed. And I'll probably talk about that more another time. Um, but I just think about that time and I'm like, I was in such a broken place where I didn't know what was next. Like I didn't know like just you're in this situation that you didn't anticipate happening in the first place. And you planned your whole future off of being with this person, right? And what that would look like and be like and everything. And you find yourself having to like try to imagine now what moving forward looks like without that. And that's just hard to get to a place where you could even picture that, where you can even grasp and start to imagine a different future because you've been imagining the same one for years. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, um, it's a process and it's a very hard one. There's so many layers. And I think about now, today, like where I'm at emotionally, mentally, how I'm feeling, just how I'm feeling on a day to day, like is such a contrast to where I was at 2 years ago. I mean, I'm so grateful for how far I've come. I'm so grateful for my growth and my healing. I always say that I'm always growing and I'm always healing. Like that process is never complete. It can be complete in some ways, but it's never like finished. You know, um, I don't know what I would have done without the couple people that really showed up for me. Like really showed up for me. Like my therapist for one. I mean, my God. Um, there were days where I literally didn't even want to get out of bed, and the amount of encouragement and um vision that he was able to have for me when I had none for myself, I couldn't have paid him enough for that. And just the support and the guidance and the work that he pushed me to put in for myself. Like I didn't have the energy to fight for me like that. And so when you have people in your corner that are willing to fight for you when you don't even have the strength to fight for yourself, I mean, that's big. Of course, God is my constant rock and strength. Like, I mean, when you're by yourself, when no one sees you and you're falling apart, you're breaking apart, you're breaking down, you're sobbing until you feel lifeless. Like you have not an ounce of energy left in your body because you cried so many tears that you didn't even know was possible to cry. Like, when you're just at that point of feeling drained, exhausted, depleted, hopeless, like just fearful, and God shows up for you in that unique way that's special to y'all's relationship and encourages you and gives you just enough to like want to continue to the next day. It's like those things are, you can't undo those moments, you know, um, and the impact that it has on you, the gratitude that it leaves in you forever, right? Like, I could never not acknowledge God and all that I've been through because I know that those moments where nobody else was there, nobody else could see, right? I know how God showed up for me in those moments. And oftentimes in supernatural ways that people may not, people might laugh if I told them, what these encounters were like, right? People who are not, haven't had those types of experiences themselves. Um, and just the couple friends, right? Like the couple friends and the couple family members that really knew everything, really knew how I was doing. There are people who assume that you're great, you know, um, because they've seen you be great and they've seen you be strong and they've seen you be all these incredible things. And I think that so many people in my life, um, back at the time when I was married, they didn't check on me, in that way. They just kind of assumed I was good. Um, Maybe it was the role that I played in their life, always being there for them and supporting them and even just how I showed up in the world. I tend to show up as this person that's very capable because I am. Like, I am capable. I'm capable of a lot of things. Like, I am strong. I am able to persevere. I am all of these amazing things, but I'm also like a human being. Like I'm also not bulletproof. I also have feelings and I cry and I get sad and I have bad days and all of those things, right? And I think sometimes when people see you be great for so long, they just kind of like assume that you're always great. And that's why it's such a big deal for me to ask people how they're doing, even when they're smiling all the time, because you never really know what's under that smile. Do you know how I'm someone who naturally laughs a lot? Now, eventually, when I was really depressed, I went through a period where I was not really smiling much. But it took some time for it to get to that point, right? Like there were times where I was not okay, but I might be laughing and smiling because it's not like in that moment I'm thinking about the doom and gloom of my life, right? Like I'm focused on something else and people see you laughing and smiling and enjoying that moment. And they think that just because you're enjoying that moment, that you're also enjoying your life. And that is not true, right? You could really be dissatisfied with your life, really be unhappy with your life, really be struggling through some difficult things in your life, and be able to enjoy a moment, be able to have happy moments, joyous moments, be able to laugh for a moment, and I'm grateful for the people that asked me how I was doing anyway, that really checked in on me, that, or even just noticed subtle things, even realize like, ah, you seem a little off. The people that really pay attention to you. They'll reach out to you. They'll go out of their way to call you, out of the blue or whatever, right? And those things like mean so much to me. Like I can't express enough, and the people who are in my life know that I express it to them often. Like I'm so grateful. Um, I'm just so grateful. I know that I wouldn't be here like without that support during those times. I know that I would not be here in this way. Like in this version of me, I would not be able to show up in my life in this capacity if it wasn't for them. I would who knows where I would be right now, mentally, emotionally, right? Probably not in my right mind, you know? Um, so I guess this is a gratitude entry. Like just um I'm just so grateful. I'm just so happy that I'm not in this like dark place anymore, that I'm not like feeling so hopeless and so lost and so confused and um just so hurt. So hurt and um when you are heartbroken and devastated beyond what you could ever imagine, there's a numbness that can set in and a cloud that can kind of surround you, a dark cloud where it is really hard to see beyond that moment. It is really hard to see beyond those feelings and that experience. It is hard. It is so hard to be hopeful and to be positive and to um enjoy anything. It is just a really challenging place to be in, and I'm so happy that my vision has been able to go past that space, right? That I was able to push those clouds out of the way with the help of God and others, and that I am able to expand myself into a place where I can be hopeful again and be happy and have joy and all of these things that were just so buried deep under the mess of my situation for so long. And um, I'm happy for me and how far I've come. And I'm proud of myself. And I'm excited for the upcoming chapter in my life. Oh my goodness. I had to jump back in here because I completely forgot that you guys need to go on Instagram and follow the Open Mic Diary page. Okay. It's Open Mic Diary with Indra Adele. The handle is Open Mic Diary. Please follow that page. Updates will be posted on there as well. And that's also a way that I can interact with you guys also and get feedback from episodes and all of that and answer any questions and just start to really build a community. So if you could please do that, that would be very, very great. Thank you in advance.